Hey you guys, thank you for coming back to my channel. We are here with another video. Today I'm going to be doing a client tutorial. So what you see me doing right here is wiping my client's face with the Thayer's Witch Hazel and a cotton pad. And excuse her facial reactions throughout the video. She was telling me it wasn't really a long story, but she just had stuff to tell me throughout the whole process of me doing her makeup. And I happen to actually know this client. This client is my friend, so that's why I was talking so much. Okay, so now I'm going to be brushing her eyebrows in the direction that I want them to be in with my e.l.f. eyebrow pencil. And I'm using the spoolie end of the pencil to brush her eyebrows. And now I'm about to be drawing in some eyebrows for her. Now the eyebrows, like I told you guys in my last video, was kind of tricky for me. Like, it took me a long time to learn how to do people's eyebrows, but I'm just following the direction her eyebrows grow in and then just filling it in. Okay, now I'm about to be cleaning up her eyebrows with the LA Girl Pro Concealer in the shade Fawn and using a flat concealer brush from ColourPop. When you do this, you want to take your time because you don't want to mess up what you did with the eyebrows. So when you do this, try to ask your clients to not talk during this part because you don't want their mouth to move your hand or anything. And now I'm just going to be blending the concealer out. Okay, what I did right here was not necessary at all because what I wanted to do was make the tail end a little bit longer, which I didn't need to. It was just fine, but as you can see, I just wiped it away. But nothing really changed here because after I did the concealer, it looked the same how it did before. So sometimes you have to just go with your instinct the first time. Okay, now I'm gonna be taking my P. Louise base in the shade, I believe 2 and 5. I just mixed them together, and then I'm gonna be placing them on her eyes and then blending them out. Now I'm going into the James Charles palette, and I'm gonna take the lightest blue shade within the blue section of that palette, and I'm going to use that as her first color, the transition color. The next shade I'm going to be using, I actually used 2 shades and mixed them together. It's going to be Brother and Cola in the same James Charles palette. And I'm just going to keep blending until I get the strength I need from those 2 blues. Okay, now that shade I'm using right now is the first shade I used before as the transition color, and it's called Playground, and I'm using that to blend out the darker blues that I had used before. Okay, so here's the fun but the tricky part. So I'm gonna take my Peel Away's base in shade 2 that I used before to prime her eyes, but I mixed it with the shade 5. I'm using that to cut her crease. Now this part you actually do want to take your time with. In 2 videos ago, I believe I said 2 or 3 videos ago, I believe I said that cut creases wasn't my strong area that I was practicing on, and this was so tricky, but it actually came out good. On this eye, on the next eye, it looked kind of flat, and if you know what I mean by flat, like it just looked like it was coming out instead of going up. So this is why you should really take your time and practice more on cut creases when you're doing it on yourself, and especially on clients if that's what they request. Okay, right here was where I kind of got frustrated. So this happened before, but I never knew how to really handle that situation. So it was just trial and error for me, but I finally figured it out. So by accident, she opened her eyes and the base transferred into her crease. So what I did was take the shades, the dark shades that I had used before, to blend out the crease, but try not to get it onto the lid. So I squeezed the tip of the brush and was just starting to like buff the base out. Okay, with this eye, I was having problems, so I ended up turning the camera off to record, but I should have kept it on so I could have showed you how I somewhat fixed it. I just took the dark shade and just kept blending over the base until the base kind of disappeared, and then I made a new shape. But y'all know me and this phone sometimes be having problems, so I just turned the phone off so I could just have a little bit of space left to record. Okay, so now I'm going back into the James Charles palette and I'm using the shade Flashback to put it on her crease. Now with this, I'm going to be doing like a ombre blue. So when I use Flashback, I'm going to be using Playground, and then I'm going into Brother and Cola to like blend it out. And with Flashback, I kind of use my finger because the color payoff wasn't coming off as good on the brush. So yeah, just going back and forth between my finger and the brush so I could get the best color payoff. Also guys, when you're doing makeup, have confidence, because my friend noticed that my face changed in the beginning when we were starting it off, because I didn't like how the first blue came off, so I was wondering if it was gonna be good. But just have confidence in yourself and then everything will turn out the best. And also, if you're not comfortable with playing with colors on other people, practice on yourself and then it will look better when you start to do it on other people as well. And now I'm gonna be taking Noir in the Anastasia Soft Glam palette and just using that to darken up the outsides of her crease. I don't know why I did that. I didn't need to, but I just wanted to. But it came out good in the end, so yeah. Okay, so now I'm gonna be using my Too Faced glitter primer. You can use the next one too, it's more affordable. I have both, but my hand just picked up the Too Faced one just in case I couldn't find my next one. But yeah, so I use that and I'm priming her eyes for the glitter I'm about to use, the glitter pigment, and it's the J. LaRue White Diamond pigment. And you see how pretty it is? So yes, I use that on her eye. And I'm just going to be using the Sephora eyeliner on her line to line her eyeline, I guess. But I'm not going to be flicking it out. It's just going to be lining her eyeline. Okay, now I'm going to be using the Maybelline 24-Hour Super Stay Foundation. I actually really like this foundation, but my problem was I used a shade that was kind of lighter than her. It's a good thing that the pictures did not come out ashy because we would have had a big problem if that was the case. But just color match your clients before you just fully paint their face on, because that was the first mistake I didn't do. I just went in with a shade that we was used to using, and then I didn't notice how light it was until after. And I almost forgot to mention that underneath her face I moisturized, and then I used the calamine lotion so we could have a longer stay. And I'm using the Real Techniques brush to buff out her foundation. Now I'm using the shade Fawn, and I forgot what e.l.f. concealer I was using, but it was a e.l.f. concealer. It was a 24-hour matte concealer, and I just mixed those two, and I'm just highlighting her face. Put the damn mirror down. Oh, yeah, I'm like, this big ass mirror in the freaking thing. Okay, now I'm gonna be using the Airspun translucent powder just to set under her eyes. And now I'm going to be using the Black Radiance the Cream Contour Palette. I was so happy that I had got this because I got all 3 of the shades. So if you're a dark skinned girl, come to me because I could contour your face because I got the dark one. But anyway, I used the light to medium, I believe, to contour the perimeter of her face, her nose, under her lip, and yeah. And then now I'm just gonna be blending the contour out so there's no harsh lines around her head. And then after I blend this out, I'm gonna be taking the, I believe, the medium to dark powder contour shades to set it and to bronze up her face a little bit more. And now I'm taking the e.l.f. blush powder palette in the light compact or whatever you want to call it. And I mixed, I believe, the top 2 shades. And yeah, and now I'm gonna set her face with the NYX Dewy Setting Spray. And then I'm gonna use my iconic London, the body shimmer spray on her face. I didn't record this part, but I used the Amrezy highlighter from when Anastasia released the whole Soft Glam edition. I believe that's what she did, but yeah, I used that highlighter. Guys, excuse my friend, she just talk a little bit too much, but yeah, that's what we do sometimes. We just joke around, but she was joking a little bit too much during this video. That's why we almost never really got done, and she was late to where she had to go. Anyways, I'm just lining her lip with a brown lip liner, and then I'm gonna be taking my NYX Liquid Suede in Tea and Cookies to fill it in, and then I'm gonna be taking another NYX product. I believe it's the NYX Fortune Cookie Butter Gloss. But yes, you guys, we are coming to an end towards this video. I hope you guys liked it. I hope you guys actually really enjoyed it, because it was my first client tutorial and it was not nerve-wracking, but it was difficult to do because I was recording myself do a client's face, and usually I'm used to moving around and getting all up in the face and trying to see what I need to fix or whatever. But I did this for y'all, so hopefully you like it. Make sure you like, comment, subscribe, share, send it to your family in another country. I don't know, do what you have to do. But we're almost up to 100 subscribers, and yeah, I really appreciate you guys. So make sure you do what you gotta do to get me to 100. Thank you. Okay, ladies, I almost forgot to mention, if you are in the New York and New Jersey area and you want to book with me, I will link my booking info down below in my description box. So if you want to do that, it will be down there for you to do that. And I will also leave my social media if you want to follow me on social media too. So make sure you check the description box down below for all of that information. Thank you so much.